Sam and Colby, I know why you're here. Those are my two favorite best buds that are dudes. And guess what? Sometimes they go on adventures and sometimes they take me with them. And it makes me feel loved. The first time they hit me up, they were like, yo, we're coming to Canada. You wanna go on a couple ghost hunts with me? And I was like, what? Excuse me, sir? We went on 3. It was really fun. I spent 4 days with Sam and Colby. I watched them every single day. And then they were like, hey, let's hang out. And then I was at the hotel and they came in and I almost pooped my pants. I want you to know. Since then, we have created a beautiful friendship and Chris and me and them go out sometimes and it's super, super fun. So today I'm going to be reacting to when we went to the Kreischer mansion. That was a really weird night. Very strange. There's so many crazy things that had happened. I'm not gonna give away all of the juicy juice because you have to go to their video and watch it, but I'm going to tell you that the story that has been told throughout history was not what my thinky dink saw. That's what it is now. It's my thinky dink. Adam reproposed right after this. It was hilarious. Okay, here we go. It did. Activity did start immediately. Yep. Ah!
We saw 4 people walk by the door.
Before we took the tour of the place, we had to walk in to see the areas that we were allowed to go and not allowed to go. And I went in with CJ and our guide over here. And that means there's only 3 people. But apparently, Colby and Selena saw a 4th person following CJ.
Yeah, no, so clearly too.
2, 3, and 4. It's like you guys walked on a line and they just followed you. Like, that was so crazy. So Colby and I were literally just sitting out there. We were talking, we were getting stuff out of the car. We look over at them walking through and they walked past and then a girl followed them. And Colby looks and then I look at Colby and I was like, did you see that? And he goes, 4th person? I was like, yeah. So it started off. We hadn't even been in the house yet. We were just in the beginning and it was like, there you go, demons. What did you take?
Fucking hairy man over there. Let's see.
Right before this, we had actually been at my house for a couple days. They were here for 2 days, then they flew and we drove because we wanted to bring our car and go to New York after. And we were a little zany. So there's so many moments in this where a lot of hilarious things were happening, but golden hour was happening and Colby and Chris were just shining. But for some reason, golden hour just does things to Colby and it was good. It was good. God. Look at the wallpaper.
Oh, beautiful.
What the hell?
Who the hell has a guy named Panther? Can you speak Panther?
Yeah. Selena's gonna take that home.
Dude, the fact they like just leave that in that house and like there's not always people in there. I was so stressed because I want it so bad. Chris knew as soon as she saw it, she was like, oh no, because my house is full of taxidermy. And no, people think that I literally kill things to stuff them. All of my taxidermy pieces are vintage. And I just feel like after things die, why not recycle their organs and make them beautiful for the rest of my life and will live on beyond me? Because what's wrong with that? Yeah, I get it. It's kind of weird. I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, here's a word from today's video sponsors. Is your business ready for the holiday rush? No? All right. You need to know about ShipStation. Listen to this. ShipStation is going to save your booty this holiday season. I don't know if you've heard of them, but I have used them forever. They are the best. They have the amazing dashboard where you can integrate everything together and it is insane. It doesn't matter where you sell, Etsy, Wix, Shopify, like Walmart. It doesn't matter where you're selling things. They have it all. Plus, you are going to have the best shipping options ever. You can actually save up to 89% off of USPS, which is actually bananas. The discounts will blow your literal mind. It's honestly here to help you make your life easier. You can grow and scale. It's gonna help you manage everything, your inventory, communication, setting things up exactly how you want it. Can you imagine that? Like, not all the bookwork that you have to do all the time. So change your life. Head over to ShipStation.com and use my code SPOOKYBOO for a 60-day free trial. This is gonna change your life and you'll never switch back. I literally never did. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
Story ends with a mysterious tragedy.
On June 8th, 1894, Edward Kreischer was thought to be murdered in the woods behind the brick factory. After this, the company never recovered and the mystery was left unsolved.
So these houses that were there was one here and they were identical and they were built for the man who owns the factory's 2 sons. The one had burned down over time, but this mansion had the craziest freaking history ever. There's like 3 different timelines that are running, maybe more. If I could think back, I'd say there's like 5 timelines running. But right now, what they're talking about is that there was this family that lived there. Okay, so there's a husband and a wife. The husband ends up dying. They think he took his own life, but he was like super positive that morning. It just didn't seem like that's what was going to happen. Ends up that the wife marries the doctor that is the one that confirmed that he was dead. So keep that in mind.
Oh, this is the parlor.
I felt drawn.
Was here?
Yeah.
Well, what's weird is if this really is the parlor room, this is where Charles held all the seances.
What have they found?
Oh God, what's going on? Oh my God!
Juices.
Someone came everywhere.
Oh my God, it's over here too.
So we're not having a slumber party.
Absolutely. What is that? More fluids, more fun. More fluids, more fun.
Fluids, more fun. Okay, you know what? Moments can be gross, but we can always turn them into humor. All I like to think about is how many great times people had upstairs in that bed.
Are you guys like feeling some stuff?
Some weird shit.
Yeah, some weird stuff happened since we started doing this.
Really? Like what? Can you explain it?
Yeah, maybe later.
Yeah, I'm piecing together something. Not what I thought it would be, but I'm piecing together something.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So when you brought us in there to go to the couch, Chris comes in and she's just like, and she's like, you will not believe what I just heard. I'll be you, because I saw you standing here.
Yeah, act this out.
I was just like standing here looking at the photos and I hear, this way. I literally went, Selena, and I turned around and I was like, oh. And then I looked in the room and I saw Selena. And I like went over and
my
you were
God.
talking to them, so I was like,
Okay. She comes in her face is just like,
I know. And it sounded like it was up here, like I was standing right there and it sounded like somebody was over here and was like, this way. Her face. I was like, no.
So that was the craziest thing. Like things just started happening and that other people weren't realizing. So somebody had done that to Chris and I remember she came in to see me and her face was terrified. So in the middle of all this, I'm getting so many pictures and like little clips in my head of things that had happened, but none of it made sense because I was trying to follow all these different timelines that were going on. So we were both having these separate experiences. Hers extremely physical, where mine was definitely like more in my brain. So before this scene here, we were sitting down and we were talking to the caretaker for the property. And it was so weird because we heard rolling thunder. And I'm like, is there a storm? Is there this going on? It wasn't. Inside of this house, it just sounded like thunder was rolling. Almost like it was a residual haunting of like some crazy thing that had happened one night. It sounded like people were running around. We were convinced that there was, you know, something in the walls, something upstairs, but there just wasn't. This is us.
No, that's in the wall.
You don't think it's a mouse?
No.
It's like this.
No, it sounds like it sounds like big.
Yeah.
No thunder.
No, it's upstairs and like in the wall.
Dude,
like,
something is rolling or like
Sounds like thunder
upstairs.
inside the house.
It's like a piece of furniture getting dragged
Yes,
like
yeah, that's
on the
what it
walls or
sounds
like right here.
It was so loud. The weird thing was like it did stop for a period of time, but it literally sounded like something dropped and like a bowling ball running along the ground. And it happened over and over and over again. And it's not like we were close to anything. Like this is a house set back off the road. It just didn't make sense.
For a long time, this mansion sat abandoned, but in recent years, it was used as a restaurant where mafia members would
Next
secretly hold
timeline.
meetings. A guy named Robert McKelvey unfortunately owed money to the Bonanno family, which was part of the mafia. Rob was this shady character with a loud mouth. Not that many people liked him, but he went around town bragging that this mafia family wasn't trying too hard to get their money back. So the Bonanno family placed a hit on Rob due to this disrespect.
The caretaker here at the Kreischer mansion, Joe Black, was also a hitman. He lured Rob to the house on March 29th, 2005. When Rob arrived to the mansion, Joe Black jumped out and stabbed him and there was a big struggle. Rob was trying to run for his life, but Joe Black caught up to him in the front yard and drowned him in the pool.
I knew Rob. I grew up with Rob.
Worlds collide.
Oh, okay, whoa, sorry, that just registered.
We hung out in the same schoolyard.
Oh damn, okay.
So it was really weird that I wound up being the caretaker.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Rob McKelvey was involved with a mob family. They murdered him here.
So he's in the walls of this house. He's in everything.
Rob's here.
That was like perfect time.
That was me, sorry.
Was he like hard to deal with? Like, was he well respected, liked as a person?
Yeah, he was fine. But he was strong. He was strong.
Is he like a little guy?
He wasn't that big.
How do you know that, Selena?
We picked up a black mass once on tape coming up, going through that wall right over there, hit right through the wall and right back down the other side.
The really interesting thing about Rob is he was murdered in that house. There was a furnace that was set to be taken out of that house. They took his body parts and they burned it up in the furnace. So he was literally in the walls of this place. The loudest spirit in this house was Rob. It was crazy. He was always there to talk, but he was within his own timeline. He didn't seem to know anything about any of the other spirits there. He was very intelligent. He just wanted to like have fun and tell his story, and it was a lot. He was boom. And the weird thing was, he was like not much taller than me. And the reason why I talked about him being a little guy is, while he was standing there, kind of like the Insidious scene, I could see Rob standing behind him, and it was honestly terrifying. It's not very often I see physical things. There's so much energy going on here. Sometimes old energy isn't as strong as new energy, and it just talking about Rob. So many different timelines and storylines that are consistently running throughout this house that they can't keep control of all of them at all the same time. Especially some of them are residual, and some of them are like intelligent.
It is weird because maybe throughout the house there's areas that are protected, but especially here you were feeling almost like knocked off your feet.
Yeah.
She came in and she was like,
It felt like
I've never seen her unsteady. Like, Chris was a rock.
Yeah.
I've never seen her unsteady. She came in, she's like, I gotta sit down. I have to sit down. That was crazy. For Chris, I think a really interesting thing to talk about, especially since we just had our big trip going across Eastern America, which go watch. If you haven't seen our Highway to Hell, go check out that series. It was insane. I feel like Chris has really come into her own. I feel like she's learned a lot about herself. I feel like she's connected to her gifts. She's much more open than she was. And I think it's gonna be really interesting to see after this trip that we just did and all the things that we learned in Salem, how she's gonna use them on the next trips that we do, because watching her evolve into this being, like, I knew when I met her that she had insane gifts, probably better gifts than I have. Her intuition is insane. Her dream recall and connection is absolutely insane. But she was affected by this place. It's not on camera, but at one point we literally had to go out and she had to lay in the car because she just felt so weird. And those were things that I kind of had dealt with when I started dealing with my gift, or if I was really overwhelmed with my gift. As we know, I've had to bail out on Sam and Colby a couple times because I got sick.
Come towards this room.
Like a hum of electricity, like a hum of energy, and it's in here.
Oh, you
and it was in
pointed.
here,
Yeah, she literally sat in the middle of the room. She's like, "Can you feel it?" She's like, "It's like."
And the second floor, what's the best rooms to go to?
Our room and the green room. They call it.
Yeah, the one
Straight across.
Which ended up being the green room. It was dark. I didn't know this was the green room. It's weird that to me you guys don't hear it because it's totally audible. Talk over it. It's an audible thing.
Let's be quiet for like 3 seconds, see if we can hear it.
To me, you're just like nothing from them. I'm just like, am I
Can you
crazy?
hear it like easy, like right now?
It's your ringing. It's like its own channel. Like over here, nothing,
When you get in the way.
nothing.
Oh, you're like a human stud finder.
That's the truth. Like the way that I see things, sometimes I see things, sometimes I smell things, sometimes I taste things. Mainly for me, it's seeing things in my head, or it's like hearing things that aren't there, which is, never fun and always kind of a little bit spooky like that. But for me, it kind of blew my mind that they couldn't hear it because this was such a physical noise. But I was just hearing some in another dimension, bro. Another dimension, bro. Are you here? That's what I thought was there.
Oh my god.
This is where the story came to me finally.
Not a psychic, not a medium, but I do this thing where I kind of like disconnect. I see different points in time.
I get pictures.
Okay.
And stuff in my head, and I see it like a movie in my head. He found out, right?
Okay.
But he
about
found
the
out that
affair.
she had been working with the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, we just have to like find a way for him to die, so we won't know." So she had been like low-grade poisoning for a while, but like it didn't work. He ended up finding out about the affair, and then he kind of went to both of them, and he's like, "I'm gonna like blah blah blah," but it didn't work out. In my head, he wrote a note, put it in his pocket,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say in this note that if I was murdered, it was him. It goes deeper, but you're gonna have to watch the full video. But what ended up happening in this video is kind of bananas, and what ended up playing out was really, really interesting. But damn, does it ever get deep.
Kreischer family
This was so spooky.
hint as to how Edward Kreischer was murdered.
We did this
Please.
At the
publish
Crescent
ours
Hotel.
here on the writing
That was
planchette.
such an
Use our
incredible
strength
video.
as a sign. We want to tell your story.
some beeps.
Edward Kreischer, Charles Kreischer, we know you use this area to communicate. Please give us a sign.
I love the music they use, man. I'm so into this.
Let's take a look for a second.
What?
That made no sense.
It's still almost like connected.
Yeah, it like flows really well.
If you guys see anything from this, please comment down below.
Oh yeah, that makes
Edward
sense after.
Charles Kreischer, we invite you to use us to draw any clue of how Edward, you passed away. We're trying to solve this mystery. Please give us a hint. What happened? Have you guys noticed we haven't heard that rolling sound?
Stopped.
Yeah, let's just wait. At the very beginning.
I was in it. Look at my face. Yeah, then they had Chris and I just do it ourselves. Her and I connect on a wild level, dude.
A hint, symbol, or a letter, anything to help us understand.
What was that?
Somebody
It sounded like some machine
walking around.
If that was a sign, can you do it one more time?
It all made sense. And it's cut off here because you have to see it. But bro, it validated my story and what I had said. It was insane. So a lot of shit went down. And it was weird because I felt like one of the spirits, you'll see who, was really trying to change the story into a different way. But I've never been so set on a story in my entire life. Like, it played out like a movie in my head, and I felt so validated for the first time. I was like, bitch, I know I'm right. And it's not very often where I'm like that intense about how I'm feeling about things. I'm usually like, I don't know if it's true, but this one I was like, oh yeah, he let me know. So we ended up doing an Estes method, and it was very emotional. And before we packed up, this happened.
You did something. I was so sad. I don't like literally did.
Someone swooped me.
Because it freaked me the fuck out. You go.
What did you
first. Go first.
What did you see?
You go first. Let's fly. No, go together. We'll go together. Okay, go. You're the one saying there's a fucking demon. No, I did. You did.
And saw something?
I don't like this. It was like a thing.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
I'm paralyzed.
I'm paralyzed.
Go in that room. I'm like a fucking possum. Go in that room over there.
Fuck? What did you guys see? Did someone just move?
No.
Okay,
Chris like, I'm out. I'm out.
What just happened?
I don't know.
So guys, that's it. You guys have to go watch this video. And if you haven't seen the amazing Conjuring series that Sam and Colby put out for Halloween, it will change the way that you look at paranormal things. I'm going to link it down below. I'm going to link both of these. I'm going to link like this video, and I'm going to put the first one to the Conjuring series. It was amazing. There is no one out there in the paranormal game that works as hard as Sam and Colby, and I am forever grateful for them inviting me into their world. So if you guys see this, hi guys. And until next time, stay spooky, my friends. Bye. I punch the camera every time.